Hi, my name is MJ and I'd like to welcome you to today's class. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about our beliefs and how they stop us. So find a comfortable seated position. If you need to sit up on a blanket, a bolster, or maybe something else that you have at home that might give you some support, please do. Have your spine upright, your hands resting, elbows dropping beneath the shoulders, and close your eyes. And I want you to just think of something recently that may have limited you, something that placed you almost in a box or in a restricted mind position. I want you to see that thing written as words or a visual image, and then see it floating away from you, slowly floating off up into the sky, maybe until it disappears, until it pops, explodes into streams of confetti, however it works for you. And then just sit here for a few breaths, just feeling, noticing if there is a lighter sensation in the body and the mind. Letting the breath move in and out, just experiencing each sensation for what it is, each thought. And allowing each of those thoughts, emotions, sensations, each of them to stay with you. As we move through our practice today, just noticing what comes and what goes. Just allowing it to do that without restriction, without again judging or placing any roofs or ceilings on top of yourself, your mind, your movements. As we now move onto our back into a reclined full butterfly. Bring the soles of the feet together, knees wide. The feet can be closer to the groin or further away. And as long as it's comfortable and suitable for your shoulders, etc., bring the arms behind you in a halo position. So placing one palm on top of the other or a forearm on top of the other. If you need to place blocks or some other supportive props under the outer knees or the legs, you can. Remember, as you're laying here, to swap the opposite palm or forearm on top. The same amount of breaths on each side. You can always stay here longer as well. Just feel the inner knees begin to open from the groin to the knees on each side. Just allowing some space to move into the body. Breathing in and out. You can breathe through the nose or the mouth just for now. Be aware of the breath as it moves into the body and out of the body. The depth of the breath, the consistency, the cadence. Just feel where it moves. As we now bring the legs in towards the chest. You can take a little rock side to side if that's comfortable. You can move the legs or just stay still. And keeping the right leg in, extend the left leg down. You can either hold the right leg behind the knee, at the ankle, wherever it does feel good, at the shin. The left leg can be extended, or you can place the sole of the left foot flat to the ground with the knee bent, whatever does feel best for the body. With the right knee in towards the right underarm like a half happy baby. And stay still and maybe place the left palm on top of the left frontal hip point, keeping the left hip grounded, just allowing again more space through the right side. You move the right leg around. Extend the leg, move the ankle, move the foot, whatever feels good. And bring both knees in, hug them in towards the chest. And then we'll swap it over. Extend the right leg down, keeping the left leg in. And again, you can extend the right leg or place the sole of the foot flat, knee bent. You can hold the left shin, the hamstring, maybe the ankle, the big toe, the outer foot. If you are interlacing the fingers, make sure you take the awkward grip than you did on the previous side. Again, moving into that half happy baby wherever the body moves to. The right palm can be on top of the right hip point again, anchoring the right hip down towards the ground. Moving only what's comfortable for your body, maybe creating a little more space on the back of the left leg, extending out through the heel. Still breathing in and out, slowly, with awareness. And bring both knees into the chest again. And take a passive happy baby, pulling the knees wide. Again, either holding the back of the knees. So if you'd like to take a full happy baby, you can grab the feet, the ankles, the outer feet, big toes. And again, either staying still or taking movement. As you're ready, bring yourself up to a tabletop position on hands and knees. As you are here in a tabletop, begin to take any movements that are comfortable. That might mean cow and cat. It might mean turning the palms, flipping them up, fingers pointing back towards the legs. Maybe rolling the body in big circles, hips towards the heels. You can roll your head, move the shoulders. If you're not sure what to do, just close your eyes and just start to allow your body to move. Just see where it instinctually takes you. What you need for movement today. Feeling is one of the best modes to really pay attention to. Continue to breathe slowly in and out, allowing the breath to move deeply into the body. If you'd like to begin your Ujjayi breath here, drag the air in and out through the nose. That's if you have an Ujjayi practice. As you now bring yourself to the back of the mat or the back of your space. Come here into a tabletop position with your hands and knees approximately beneath the shoulders. The fingers can be together or spread apart, whatever's comfortable for the rest of the shoulders. As you tuck the toes, lift the knees for a hovering tabletop, and then play around with keeping the body stable, lifting the left foot, maybe for a breath, lifting the right foot. Just notice if you can keep the pelvis and the rest of the body stable. And now try the opposite hand to opposite foot. Again, keeping the stability through the body, we'll slowly crawl towards the top of the mat. See if you can find some hang time, lifting the opposite foot, opposite hand, and then take it all the way to the back of the mat, maybe slowing it down. And once you do reach the back of the mat, move into a child's pose. So the big toes come together behind, knees nice and wide. Reach the arms out in front of you, forehead towards the ground. If you have any props and either the forehead or the chest is not touching the ground, please place something under it, and you can always pad the knees with blankets or maybe sit on something under the hips as well to support the body. This can be an active pose, pressing the palms down, allowing the elbows to lift, really extending the spine forwards towards the thumbs, the hips getting heavy towards the heels. Keep the upper back broad. Now turn the palms face up towards the sky. Either keep the palms here or bend the elbows, bringing the fingers to the back of the neck. You can always bring the fingertips to touch, thumbs at the back of the neck, and walk the elbows in and forwards, wrapping the upper arm bones out and down. Again, keeping the upper back and the collarbones broad. Staying here again as long as you would like, and as you're ready, press the palms down, releasing the bend in the elbows. Then bring yourself up again to hands and knees, this time at the top of the mat. As we take again a hovering tabletop, really contain the body from the thighs to the neck, keeping the hips nice and low and stable, the body frozen, step back to high plank, and then to a downward facing dog. You can always adjust the body here, maybe take movement, take a wider stance with the hands or the feet. Inhale, lift your right leg high, keeping the left knee pointing to the left elbow. Begin to open the hip a little, maybe extending the right leg as you step forwards outside the right wrist. You can wriggle the right foot up, just making sure the foot's either beneath or in front of the knee, and take a runner's lunge. Maybe coming down onto the left knee. You can keep it active with the knee lifted. If you need anything under the palms or maybe coming to the forearms. Always welcome to take a quad stretch or any arm balances that you may have here. Keep the spine nice and long. For a quad stretch, the left palm will be on the ground as you reach back to grab the left foot with the right hand. Create resistance, kick into your palm. At the same time, use your bicep strength to pull the foot towards the glute. And again, you're welcome to come onto the forearms, onto the blocks, whatever allows for space and comfort to help you to open the left quad. Releasing with control as you're ready. Come up onto the palms. And then pivot the left foot down, moving into a Skandasana. The left toes can flex up off the ground. Or you can keep the left toes on the ground, but really pull the left thigh bone in towards the left side of the pelvis. And if necessary, come up onto the right tiptoes, lifting the heel. You're welcome here to extend the arms, left arm reaching straight up towards the sky, maybe going for a half or a full bind. Left arm comes to the low back, the right arm around the shin. Really pull the left thigh in, lifting the front of the chest. If you need to place anything under your glutes, you can as well. And exhale, release. The hands are on the inside of the right foot, keeping the hips low. Step the left foot outside the left wrist, using the right outer hip. Into Malasana variation. Hands to heart, elbows to knees. You can widen the feet as far as you need, maybe lifting the hips a bit higher. Just make sure the heels are on the ground. You can always roll up a blanket and place it under the heels, really supporting the body. This is quite supportive and necessary if the heels are lifted. As you lift the front of the spine, really pull the knees out wide, turning on the glutes. Start to feel the crown of the head lift up. The collarbones wide, the shoulder heads pull back and down. An option here to reach the arms forwards or up, continuing to pulling the knees out wide. Then to the count of 3, slowly begin to stand using the glutes. We rise. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, breath reaching all the way up, ribs pull in. And exhale, Samastitihi. Bring the feet to a comfortable position. Hands to heart. Press the thigh bones back and lengthen the tailbone down towards the heel, standing up nice and tall and stable. Feel the inner arch of the feet lift, pressing down into the big toe mound, the baby toe mound, and the heel. Feeling the breath moving in and out. If you are taking Ujjayi, it is audible. Inhale, mountain pose, reaching up to the sky, coming up onto the tiptoes, really feeling the outer ankles, the outer calves hugging in towards one another. Exhale, release the heels. Inhale onto the tiptoes, lifting all the way up. Exhale, heels to the ground. Again, inhale, lift the heels, maybe this time keeping the heels lifted. Exhale, bend the knees, tip forwards into a forward fold. And once folded, heels down. Inhale, lift halfway, lengthen the spine, lifting the hamstrings up to the glutes. Hold on the exhale breath, either fingertips to shins or flying the arms back, collarbones wide. Inhale, bend the knees, chair pose, reaching the arms up. Set the pubic bone back and pull the navel up away from the pubic bone. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, stand up and lift the left leg with you. Option to bend the right knee a little as we now start to move around. So we've been doing this in class for a couple of weeks, just moving the body in any organic or, again, instinctual way that might feel really good to help you to turn on the right glute. You can move the arms, you can close the eyes, really bend the right knee a lot. Bring the left knee across the body, flex the toes up, down, move back, forwards. Just move and feel. Notice where the body turns on. Be really aware here. And come back to the center. Option to extend the left leg long. Hugging the outer right hip in. Exhale, slowly step the left foot all the way back. Taking your time, finding control. Left toes come to the ground, left knee comes to the ground. Option to tuck or untuck the left toes. Inhale, crescent moon, arms lift up to the sky, lunging and then pulling the pelvis back so the left hip is on top of the left knee. Arms reach to the sky. Point the right knee over the right middle toe and hug the outer right hip back as you reach the left palm to the back of the neck, maybe holding the tricep with the right hand or bringing the right hand behind, going into a full bind. Again, outer hips hug in. Then you have the option to take a little side body flexion to the right side. Inhale, reach the arms back, and exhale, half splits pose. Right toes flex. We'll move between the two. Inhale, crescent moon. Exhale, half splits pose, Ardha Hanumanasana. Again, inhale, crescent moon. Pull the pelvis all the way up. And exhale, half splits. We'll stay here. Right hip hugs in. Flex the left toes. Pull them back towards you. Again, flex them away, bending the knee, planting the palms down, and lifting the back knee. If you can, without scraping, lift the right leg to the sky. And you have an option here to just move the leg or maybe move into a flip dog or a wild thing. Flipping the body over, reaching the right arm back behind you. Exhale when you're ready, back to a downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left leg high. Same thing, keep the right knee pointed towards the right elbow. And then open the left hip. Again, right knee points forwards, right outer hip hugs back. Keep the left knee nice and high and step forwards next to the left wrist into your runner's lunge. Again, you can stay active with the knee lifted, passive with it lowered. On the palms, the forearms, use any props to help you. Keep the spine nice and long. And again, take anything that you may have taken on the previous side, whether it is a quad stretch, an arm balance, maybe moving into cross or Vinyasa. If you are taking the quad stretch, the right hand is on the ground or a prop, reaching back with the left hand. Again, create resistance, kicking the foot back, pulling it in closer towards you. Keep the front of the spine long. The outer left hip very gently hugging in. Control, bring the palms back to the ground, lift the back knee, and pivot the right outer heel to the ground, moving into again Skandasana with the left knee bent, right leg extended. The same option, lifting the left heel. Right toes can be flexed or on the ground. Again, if you need to sit on something. So you inhale, reach the arms nice and wide, either staying here or going for a half or a full bind. Right hand comes behind the back, left arm around the outside of the shin. You can pull the left thigh all the way and lift the front of the chest up. Squeeze the shoulder blades back, releasing as you're ready, and then bring the hands to the ground again. The outer left hip hugs back. Again, keep the hips as low as you can, really using the left glute. And step forwards, frog squat. Hands to heart. Again, knees pull back, so really use the glutes. Your navel lifts up. You have the same option to reach the arms forwards or up to the sky, as long as you can keep the head lifted. This time moving a little slower. Pull the knees back, use your glutes as we stand for 5, 4, 3, 2, all the way up on 1. Exhale, Namaste to here. Again, bring the feet into a comfortable position. Stand up nice and tall. Reconnect to that light feeling that you felt earlier. The space that you created for yourself. So you can move freely, breathe freely, and be present. Inhale, mountain pose, reach tall. Again, lift up onto the tiptoes. Really use the front and the back of the legs. Exhale, lower the heels down. See how slow you can go. Inhale, lift onto the toes. Exhale, heels down. One more time. Inhale, lift the heels, maybe staying high on tiptoes. On the exhale, bend the knees. Again, hamstrings lift up as you tip forwards into a forward fold. Heels down. Inhale, halfway lift. Again, hands can come either back or in front of you. Keep the hamstrings lifted up to the glutes. Inhale, chair pose. Again, pull the hip points back, the rib cage down. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, stand up, this time lifting the right leg with you. And again, we're going to move. Just move. Any way that's weird, try to be as weird as possible. Feel your body as you move, really turning on the left glute, nice and strong. The left foot stable, connect the two. And allow your mind to connect to each feeling. Each time you really feel the body turn on, stabilize. Maybe even closing the eyes. As you're ready, coming back to the center, bring the hands to heart. Maybe extending the right leg long. On the exhale, the right leg comes back behind you. Again, finding control as you step the right foot back, toes to the ground, knee to the ground. Lunging into the crescent moon and then pulling yourself back. So the right hip on top of the right knee, the outer left hip wraps down, the outer left hamstring, the lateral hamstring pulls back. Again, point the left knee forwards and pull the two frontal hip points up, ribs down. Then take the right hand to the back of the neck. With the left hand, either hold the tricep, the elbow, or take the bind. Left hand coming behind. You have an option to stay or maybe take a little flexion, leaning over to the left side, feeling the entire side of the body opening up. Outer hips hugging in. Inhale, release, bringing the arms back to the sky. Exhale, half splits. Again, pulling the left hamstring back. We'll move between the two. Inhale, crescent moon, coming back up. Pull the front of the pubic bone up. Exhale, half splits. Set the pubic bone back. One more time. Inhale, crescent moon. And exhale, half splits. We'll stay here and point the toes away from you. Right outer hip still hugs in. Spine is long. Flex the toes back and point the toes forwards. One more time, flex the toes. And then flex them forwards, bending the knee, planting the palms, lifting the back knee. Again, if you can without scraping, left leg lifts up to the sky. And open the left hip, either staying here, just moving the leg around, or maybe moving into a flip dog or a wild thing. Lifting the left hand, reaching behind you, really using the hamstrings to press the pelvis up, nice and strong and stable. And then slowly bringing yourself back to a downward facing dog. As you inhale, look forwards. On the exhale, bring the feet to the top of the mat. Again, feet at a comfortable distance and position. Exhale, squat and curl, bending down into the tiniest little ball that you possibly can. Bring the forehead to the knees. You're welcome to work into balance here, if that just means the hands coming up off the ground, maybe even closing the eyes. Just reconnect to Ujjayi breath, reconnect to the space you created at the beginning of class. You're always welcome here to have the heels to the ground or come up onto the tiptoes, maybe again really working the stability and strength in the feet. Just listen to what you need to do for your body. As you're ready, inhale, chair pose. Again, the knees point forwards over the middle toes, the hip points sit back, the ribs in, pull the navel up away from the pubic bone. And as you sit back, you're welcome here to bring the hands to your heart, keep the hands lifted to the sky, or bring the hands to the pelvis, one on either side. Really ground down into the right foot. As you stand up, lift the left leg. The toes can be flexed up or down. The hands can again stay at the pelvis. Open the left knee out to the side, lifting the knee nice and high, point the toes down, and then place the foot to any position to the inside of the right leg, whether it's high or low. You're welcome to lift the arms straight to the sky, maybe even lift the gaze to challenge yourself a little. Press the foot into the leg into the foot, and now really hug the outer hips in as you lean the hips slightly to the right, the upper body, the arms even over to the left. Grounding into the right big toe mound, come back to the center. And then bring the hands to the heart center. Bring the left knee back forwards in front of you. Again, maybe straightening the leg. And then slowly, with control, step the left foot all the way back. And take your time. And then once the toes are to the ground, the feet are approximately hip-width position. Hands at hips or hands to the sky again. The right knee points forwards. The left inner knee rolls back for a high lunge, a crescent lunge position. Create a bend in the left knee, again like when the knee was on the ground, so the pelvis is in an upright position. And bring the hands to heart center as you tilt the upper body forwards, revolve to the right side, bringing the elbow outside the knee. Push the elbow out into the knee as you pull the outer right hamstring back, an option to fly the arms, but really activate the left thigh. Push your left quad as hard and as high as you can towards the ceiling, towards the sky. Left heel towards anything that's behind you, nice and strong. And then with control, slowly bring the hands to the ground, hug the outer right hip in, step forwards, lifting the left leg to the sky for standing splits pose. Square the hips to the ground again, and the hands on the ground or on blocks or any props, a little bend in the knees. You now slowly again come up onto the tiptoes and lower the heel, doing this a few times to your breath, thinking of the right hip lifting. And then the knee comes to the chest as you step forwards into a forward fold. Inhale, chair pose. Again, the knees point forwards. Sit the pubic bone back. And hands again to the heart, to the hips, to the sky. Inhale as you stand up and lift the right leg this time. Again, flexing or pointing the toes. Open the right knee out to the side, lifting it nice and high. Point the toes to the ground and then place the foot to the inner thigh, again for tree pose. And push the foot and leg into one another, the left outer hip hugging in. And place the arms again, maybe lifting them up to the sky. Ground into the left big toe mound as we again create that side body flexion, this time over to the right side. So push the foot and leg into one another, creating even more stability. Inhale back to the center. Again, you can always lift the gaze to challenge yourself, especially when you're outside. Bring the hands back to heart and extend the right leg forwards. Exhale, slowly bring the right leg all the way back, little bend in the left knee until the toes come to the ground. And again, bending the right knee so we can upright the pelvis, the frontal hip points pointing forward, the left knee forwards, approximately over the middle toe. Pull the front ribs down and hug the outer left hip back. rolling the inner right thigh back past the inner right heel. Bring the hands to heart center as you again tilt the upper body forwards and firm the right leg. Exhale, revolve crescent lunge. The elbow comes outside the left knee. And again, create that resistance between elbow and knee, the same into one another. Rotating the outer left hamstring back. The right quad again is nice and firm. You're welcome again to fly the arms left high, right low. Pressing the right heel behind you. Keep the spine nice and long. And exhale, release the hands to the ground. As you lean forwards, inhale, standing splits. Left outer hip rolls back in space. Hands on the ground, behind the calf, on any props that you may have, maybe blocks. Inhale, come onto the tiptoes. Exhale, heel down. I'm doing this a couple of times to your breath. Keep the right leg active, pushing the leg behind you. Exhale, knee to the chest, forward fold. Bring the feet to a position that's comfortable. Exhale, squat and curl, forehead to knees. Again, this might be where you stay, just reconnecting to your breath, maybe balancing, closing the eyes, forearms around the shins. Well, this time you have an option to move into Bakasana, crow pose. The hands about shoulder width position. The knees come to the triceps as you tip forwards. Your bum lifts nice and high. Bring one or both feet off the ground, maybe crossing at the feet, lifting the feet as close towards the glutes as possible. And holding this as long as you would like. You also have an option coming into a Malasana variation, frog squat, hands to heart, elbows to knees. And then when you're ready to move on, bring the body into a standing forward fold. You can always pause this video and reconvene when you finish playing around. Inhale, chair pose, hands to the sky, or hands to the heart or the hips. Inhale, lift up, standing, lifting the left leg, outer right hip is hugging in. Slowly exhale, bring the left leg back behind you. Again, taking your time, foot to the ground. Inhale, crescent lunge, right knee points forwards. Exhale, this time low flying crescent as you tip forwards. Inhale, open up to a warrior two. So the right knee points forwards, left outer foot presses down, the left toes turn in, angled in, even more so if you're more narrow in the pelvis. You're welcome to keep the hands at the pelvis or bring the arms out wide. Track your right knee open and really firm the back thigh. The left side of the pelvis may slightly turn in, that's okay. Exhale, side angle pose. Bring the forearm on top of the thigh, left arm to the sky, and then take a half bind, bringing the left arm behind the low back. Inhale, reverse triangle, keeping the half bind with the arm behind the back, straighten the front leg. Exhale, back to a side angle pose with the half bind. This time, inhale, reverse warrior, keep the front knee bent. Exhale, hands to the ground. Inhale, standing splits, lift up the back leg. Exhale, knee to the chest, standing forward fold. Inhale, chair pose. Bend the knees, lift the arms, again place them where you would like them to be. Inhale, stand up, lifting the right leg. Slowly exhale, bring the leg back behind you, take your time. Bring the toes to the ground, little bend of the knee. Inhale, crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, tip forwards, low flying, strong back leg. Inhale, warrior two. Again, open up, right toes turned in. The feet are approximately heel to arch, or a wider stance. Hands reach out wide or hands to the hips. Lengthen the back of the pelvis down. Again, right toes angled in, maybe more so for your pelvis. Track the left knee open and really turn on your left butt cheek. Use it to support you. Pull the front of the pelvis up, the rib cage down. Really keep the body nice and strong. And exhale, side angle pose. Again, A with the forearm on the thigh, right arm up to the sky. And take the half bind, right hand towards the sacrum or the left hip. And the right thigh is nice and firm. Inhale, keep the bind, reverse triangle, front leg straight, push into the big toe mound. And exhale, back to our side angle pose with the bind. Inhale, reverse warrior. Keep the knee bent, the front knee bent, reach up and back. Exhale, hands to the ground. Leaning forwards, use the left butt cheek. Inhale, standing splits, right foot lifts. Then again, bend the knee, bring it towards the chest. Exhale, forward fold. Now again, bring yourself down into a little ball. You can stay here, reconnect with your breath, your intention, your focus. Again, if you would like to balance, that might be closing the eyes or moving into an arm balance. If you have blocks, you're welcome to place the palms on blocks. Maybe Bakasana, again, with the knees to triceps, lifting yourself up, hugging the triceps in, thinking of pulling your hips away from the back of the arms. Always that same option, frog squat, heels to the ground. Maybe the heels up on a blanket or another prop. Give your pelvis a little bit of space. The ankles some space, whatever it is that you need in your body. Once you've finished playing here, again, inhale, chair pose. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, stand up, lift the left leg. And then take your time, bring the left leg back, maybe an extra breath here. Slowly reaching the foot back. Exhale, warrior two. Reaching the arms wide. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, side angle pose. This time you can take A, B or C. Moving to the half bind again, left hand to the lower back. Or a full bind, bringing the front arm under the front thigh. If you need a strap, the strap will be in the left hand. It'll dangle down behind the thigh. And then just take a little bit of movement here. Straighten the front leg only as much as it's comfortable for your body. Thinking of the right outer hip pulling back, the hamstring pulling back to the glute. And then as you're ready, slowly step the left foot forwards. Maybe keeping that bind. Maybe you just stay here on the right tiptoes, or you start to stand up, lifting the right foot up towards the sky, keeping the bind. Once you're standing, you're welcome to keep a little bend in the left knee, but think of really turning on the outer left hip. Pull the shoulder blades back behind you. You're welcome here to lift the right leg up. Find that stability in the left leg, pushing the left big toe mound down. If the right leg is lifted, either point or flex the toes. It just wasn't in my practice for today. That's okay. When you're ready, keep the bind. Step the right foot back to the ground, and then the left foot back behind. Release the bind. Inhale, reverse triangle pose. Exhale, hands to the ground. Inhale, standing splits, leaning forwards. Exhale, standing forward fold. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, hands to the heart or the hips. Inhale, stand up, lift the right leg. Find control. Again, maybe take an extra breath here as you bring the leg back and step the foot to the ground. Exhale, open up, warrior two. Moving into side angle pose. This time, again, moving into that half or full bind. You're always welcome to just stay here, going for the full bind with the left arm under the front thigh with or without the strap, or just working towards grabbing fingers. And start to take a little bit of movement, straightening the left leg, really hugging the left outer hip back. Right leg stays firm. Bending the knee again, straightening the leg. And as you're ready, look forwards, keep the bind, and step the right foot to the top of the mat near the left. Maybe stay here, coming onto the left tiptoes. When you're ready, start to stand up, keep the bind, really pull the shoulder blades back. Right leg is working so strong. Lifting the left leg up towards the sky, again flexing or pointing the toes. And just another view here so you can see how I get into it, slowly lifting the body up, really turning on the right glute. And pulling the shoulder blades back, finding stability in the right foot. And keeping the bind. As you're ready, bend the left knee. It's always an option to keep that knee bent as well. Stepping the left foot back, moving back into Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Release the bind, inhale, reverse warrior, reach up and back, get space. Exhale, hands to the ground. Inhale, standing splits, last one. Exhale, knee in, standing forward fold. Exhale, move into a little squat and curl. Maybe this time trying to keep the heels down and sit your bum all the way to the ground. Bringing the soles of the feet together, knees wide. And you can have the feet closer in or a little further away. And there's always that option to lift your bum up a little bit higher, especially if you feel that you're falling backwards or the pelvis is tilted backwards. As you bring your hands either to the feet, the big toes, the ankles, sit up nice and tall. As the shin bones pull up, the outer knees pull down towards the ground. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. Exhale, with a neutral spine, tip forwards from the pelvis, lengthening the spine. So rather than rounding, keep the front of the spine lifted and open, the shoulder blades pulling back and down. Again, the legs are still very, very active. If you can, the feet press into one another. Widen the collarbones. Lengthening a little further, maybe finding a little more depth. And exhale, we now round, bringing the forehead towards the inner soles of the feet. This time slightly tipping onto the back of the pelvis. Think of cat pose in the spine, really pulling the rib cage back, the navel back. The legs are still very active, the inner shins pulling up. And like frog squat, the outer hips rolling back and down. And keeping a hold of the feet, slowly sit all the way back up, tipping slightly backwards. If you are sitting on something, please be careful. Lifting the feet as high as you can towards the sky. If you need to hold on to the ankles or the back of the knees, but choose whichever's harder, opening the legs or bringing the legs together. Lifting the chest up as nice and tall, as far towards the sky as possible. Maybe moving between the two, opening the legs, closing them, finding your balance. There's always the option of an upright, happy baby. And you can move between the two, maybe bending the knees or straightening the legs. Taking your time to find your balance point, really lifting the chest up, keeping the body nice and stable. As you're ready, maybe releasing the arms and then slowly making your way onto your back all the way down. Once on your back, bring the soles of the feet flat to the ground. And then knees in towards the underarms. This time, a full happy baby, lying on your back, supine. You can grab the feet, the ankles, the back of the knees. Really try and keep the spine nice and long. You can always be still or slightly move. Maybe extending one leg or both legs. Staying here as long as you like. When you're ready, recline cow face pose, Supta Gomukhasana, with the right knee on top of the left. You'll either grab the knees or the ankles just above the joints, keeping the feet active, flexing the toes in, pressing the back of the pelvis down. Again, the spine's nice and long. If you are holding on to the ankles, you pull the shins apart, and then swapping it over, bringing the left knee on top of the right. Again, grab the knees or the ankles, the heels push out, toes pull in, collarbones pull wide. Feel the back of the pelvis push down, really lengthen the spine. And slowly release as you're ready. If there's any other poses, transitions, anything that would feel really good right now, please take it. Maybe closing off the spine, another back bend, rocking the legs or the pelvis side to side. As we now slowly begin to transition our body into our resting pose of Shavasana or corpse pose. Place the arms and legs wide as it's comfortable. If you need to place any props under the body just to give some relief to the lower back or anything else, the neck, the pelvis, please do so. Maybe blocks or a blanket or pillows under the back of the knees. And now allow your mind to slowly drift away as the body gets heavy and we surrender here. And as you lay here, just listen to the noises, whether it's noises from this video, noises around you in whatever space you're in, or maybe noises from your own body. And just allowing these noises to move around without disturbing you or distracting you, just observing them for simply being noise. Allowing yourself to remain calm and relaxed, just taking in all sensations, feelings, emotions, etc. Allow yourself to simply be. Please feel free to stay here as long as you like. Whenever you're ready, maybe take a deeper breath, taking your time. Begin to slowly move the fingers, the toes, the legs, the arms. Maybe stretching or bringing the legs in. Taking your time, rolling onto the most comfortable side. Just find a comfortable position here, supporting the body where you need to. I want you to just think about your original intention, the original thought, the restrictions, the beliefs that we're placing on ourselves. We're closing ourselves off because we hold them higher than anything else. We hold it as truth in our life. So the easier we can let go of these beliefs, the more we open ourselves up to possibilities, to everything that's available to us, to all the options that this amazing life has to offer. Whenever you're ready, press yourself up to a seated position. Find a comfortable position, whether you're sitting up on something, cross-legged, legs extended, heels back, wherever it's comfortable for you. The hands can be on the legs, the lap, or the heart, the eyes closed or open. And just find one thing that you're grateful for right now. Completely grateful, completely thankful for. Feel it. Say thank you to it. Maybe even smile. And now feel the breath move in and out of your body. It might feel different than it did before the class, or even during the start of the class. As you now bring the hands through prayer, thumbs come to the third eye. We just pay respects to our practice, our mind, our body, the connection. And we bow in thanks. Namaste. Please remember to take your time if you'd like to lay back down or just sit for a little while in meditation. Do what's calling to you. When you're ready to go about your day, drink water, move a little bit, and then have an amazing remainder of your day. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Again, my name's MJ, and I hope to see you again soon. Please share this with anyone that you might feel will benefit from it, and I hope that you subscribe. I'll see you soon.